Hello, everyone. This is Luca Majno again with Frank Gregory Ford. We're here again with Global News Update on TLBTV, where we give you complete backstage, up-to-date info on the developments occurring in our world today. And let me tell you, we have a little bit of a flashback to do today, and it's very important because of what we're going to discuss. We're going to start the show off with none other than Hillary Clinton. And Greg is going to chime in on this too, because there's so much to talk about. And this is very important. So here we are again. And it seems the word Hillary is said almost as many times as the word CIA on this show. And practically every show that we do, we can't get away from not saying CIA. So here it is to Hillary. And I hope, like Greg says, I hope she's listening. Well, as Greg says also, as we're so used to hearing him say in a sarcastic way too, and it goes something like this, is one Haiti official who exposed the Clinton Foundation, found dead in Miami. What was it, yesterday, Greg?
Right.
Right. And I'm like, come on, Hillary, you know, this stuff is getting boring, frankly. And then I got really upset. Sarcasm here turns quickly to anger as that voice inside me said, you know, you have something to do, right? Well, here it is. And again, as Greg says, and Hillary, I hope you're listening. So what I was going to do is I was going to read every single one of those names of the infamous Hillary Clinton death list. But when I found out there was 186 of them, I kind of changed my mind. So we wanted to honor their passing. We wanted to honor their families. And most of all, honor their integrity as they tried to uncover all the extent of the Clinton Foundation corruption and malpractice here. Okay, well, in the case of this latest known victim, and there may be others, right? Let's break it down into groups, as we're going to do in a minute. But first of all, let's talk about the latest victim that we found out about. And I'm quoting direct from the source. Klaus Eberwein was 50 years old. He was due to appear this coming Tuesday before the Haitian Senate Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, where he was widely expected to testify that, you know, the Clinton Foundation misappropriated Haiti earthquake donations from international donors. Quote, the Clinton Foundation, they are criminals, they are thieves, they are liars, and they are a disgrace, Eberwein said at a protest outside the Clinton Foundation headquarters in Manhattan last year. According to Miami-Dade's medical examiner, of course, we all know it right from the beginning, gunshot to the head, and it was registered as suicide. Eberwein, whose knowledge, of course, he knew his life was in danger. He was a fierce critic of the Clinton Foundation's activities in the Caribbean island, where he served as Director General of the government's Economic Development Agency. They call it in French the Fonds d'Assistance Économique et Sociale, for 3 years. Okay. According to Eberwein, a paltry 0.6% of the donations granted by international donors to the Clinton Foundation, with the express purpose of directly assisting Haitians, usually ended up in the hands of Haitian organizations. A further 9.6% ended up in the Haitian government. The remaining 89.8%, or 5.4 billion, Greg, you have another figure that you're going to throw at us in a minute, that was funneled to non-Haitian organizations. So before I give the floor to Greg, this is called the Clinton Reign of Terror, a trail of suspicious deaths. From usapolitics.com website and a few other ones, we want to show you the groups of the murders that they put them in, okay? 16 murders in aircraft crashes, 20 murders from suicide, 22 bodyguards or escorts, 56 military and law enforcement, 8 investigative journalists, 7 women interns, assistants, or affairs, 5 fundraisers, 13 lawyers, 23 witnesses, 5 medical, and 11 political staff, which, I don't know, I did finish 12th grade math. I came up to 186. And I want to read to you the 4 that most people are familiar with, starting with Seth Rich. Seth Rich was a Democratic staffer. He was 27 years old. He was shot in the back several times on his way to meet the FBI to discuss election fraud on 7/10/16. John Ash, UN official who died suspiciously the day before he was set to testify as a top official against the DNC and Hillary Clinton on 6/22/16. Victor Thorne. And Victor Thorne made a joke also on a national radio show. He said that if I ever die or if I get killed, it was a murder. It was not suicide. He was the author of books exposing the Clintons, found dead of a gunshot on top of a mountain near his home on 8/1/16. And Sean Lucas, who's a lead attorney in the anti-Clinton DNC fraud case and a Bernie Sanders supporter, was found dead in his home on 8/4/16. So, Greg, you want to weigh in on this one? And we have been showing the huge poster that they made of the Clinton death list, and it's called the Clinton body count. And we find this really important to talk about because this is what's going on. You say there's a tie with the CIA?
Oh, yeah, with the Cocaine Importation Agency? Is that what you were referring to, Luca?
Right.
Okay, yes. Well, what can I say there? But my request is all my life I've had this murdering, lying, thieving, sociopathic, psychopathic couple in my life, okay? They won't get out of it. They've been involved in bringing down Richard Nixon, my former boss. It was Hillary Clinton Hillary Rodham at the time, who got on and did her famous rant about how Richard Nixon doesn't deserve legal representation at the Watergate hearings. And then she got fired for lying, blatantly lying, okay? But that doesn't slow her down, doesn't slow anybody like that down. She then went on and she managed, how these people find each other is a true miracle. How she managed to locate Bill Clinton, okay? And it's funny, that Yale mafia seems to have its magic charm. She goes to Yale, he goes to Yale, the Bushes go to Yale, okay? The whole generation goes to Yale. Man, skull and crossbones, holy moly. I guess murder is just part of the official status quo of doing business when you graduate from Yale. What is it about that murderous bunch? But needless to say, okay, yeah. And then, of course, everybody knows my story of what happened in Iraq. And then I find out, okay, the courts won't hear my case, all right, for trying to stop massive murder, torture, and mayhem, okay, on the Iraqi people. They won't hear my case because the CIA and the Department of Defense said no, they can't hear my case because it's, quote, national security.
Too sensitive.
Right?
Yeah, right.
National security. I was renditioned, tortured, covertly flown out of the country, kidnapped, abducted. I've had my credibility attacked I don't know how many times. Anybody can hear it. Just go online, look up my name. And the Supreme Court makes a statement 3 days before and says, oh, it cannot hear any case unless it gets instructions from the government. I think it's time, first of all, we got rid of the Supreme Court. They're absolutely worthless, okay? And then we need somebody to run for president that's not going to worry about what they're doing in North Korea, that's not going to worry about what they're doing in Angola or in Uruguay. I had somebody tell me that that's a big, hot new place for the the Bush family is Uruguay, okay? What are all these Nazis all retiring together, okay? So, but here, let's get back to the delightful Hillary Clinton, okay? And that wonderful family, Bill, okay? I saw a picture of him, today? He looks like he's suffering from HIV/AIDS. I guess that's what 40 years of marriage or 50 years of marriage will do to Hillary Clinton. I mean, gosh. But anyway, okay. What I want to say, okay, I guess this is applicable. Is her largest supporter is a very mysterious group. Okay, it's called L3.
Right.
Oi, oi, oi. Does anybody hear that? Okay, I hope they do. All right, because that is the group of Israel. Okay, and Israel formulated the company called L3, and yes, L3 ordered my rendition and my torture out of Iraq. They were running a place called Abu Ghraib prison, running the logistics and the communications of L3. Guess who is Hillary Clinton's largest supporter? Oi, oi. All right. I hope they heard that. And I want them to hear something else, and I want Hillary Clinton to hear this too. I just saw a picture of an Israeli team emplacing explosives, specific explosives, shipped by the Tracor Group, all right, which now has become the Halliburton Group in the World Trade Center. And those were Mossad operative explosive specialists wiring those explosives in the World Trade Center. Now, what could they have been doing? All right, urban renewal. Okay, I think that's the way Mr. Silverstein saw it. All right, who took over and brought those experts in. But there we go again. There's the CIA connection. There's Hillary. Okay, there's Dick Cheney, Halliburton. Everybody know that by now. Okay, so looking at Hillary, you're right, Luca. Looking at Hillary, yes, okay. People have a very mysterious way of dying around her all the time. What is it, a once-a-week murder now? Okay, it was pretty much like the scandals Hillary Clinton pulled off. Okay, when her psychopathic husband was in charge. All right, they had a scandal a week. If it wasn't Travelgate, it was Monica Gate, whatever. Okay. Well, yes, and then who appoints her? Who appoints her as Secretary of State? Okay, somebody else who has a real dodgy reputation and a real dodgy position in the White House. That former President Obama. Okay, Mr. Obama, whose mother, yes, ran death squads in Indonesia.
Right.
Okay. During the Sukarno insurrection and insurgency, okay, yeah, that Obama, I think his name is Barry Sotelo, okay, Sotelo, I don't know, but I'd like to find out where Barry got his Social Security number. All right, gosh, and then he produces magically a birth certificate, for all the tax money that the CIA eats up, you think that they could forge a decent birth certificate for this guy, okay? Because they had the wrong hospital on it where he was supposedly born. The hospital didn't even exist when he was born, supposedly. All right, so,
getting back to Hillary, just before you told me you wanted me to remind you of the Hillary responsible for NSA espionage penetration.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Apologize to your listeners, Luca, because there's so much here. I've got to wade through it. I feel like I'm in a swamp with alligators around my butt talking about Hillary Clinton, and she almost became the president of the United States. America, have you gone insane? Okay, so what we have, okay, is Hillary Clinton. Okay, guess what? Most people don't know this, but she had her own little private army. You can bet somebody ought to check those folks out. They're called Blackwater. What is Blackwater? Yes, Blackwater doesn't work for the Department of Defense. They work for the Secretary of State. And who's the Secretary of State? Hillary Clinton. Okay. the question of Vince Foster came up. Thank goodness for Trey Gowdy. Okay, he checks all this stuff out. He just doesn't listen to these scumballs sit around and say, "Oh yeah, well I didn't have anything to do with it." He checks it out. And what does he find out? There's some real suspicious carryings on about Vince Foster. What happens? They go dig his body up and put it onto an ambulance. The ambulance goes around the corner. The crew disappears, and the whole ambulance is set on fire with Vince Foster. Okay? Gee, that's not suspicious, is it? All right? And now we have, what was it, last week? We have a state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line U.S. Navy ship cruising out of Japan, okay? And mysteriously, a Philippine ship pulls alongside in parallel course, and all of a sudden, all their power goes out on the U.S. warship. All their power drops. Gee, what was it? On your show, Luca, didn't I talk about the aircraft carriers? You know, the 10 aircraft carriers that are sitting in dry dock right now?
Yep.
Because something very comparable happened with a Russian MiG flying over one of them, okay? And all the power went down. They're stripping all the copper wiring out of those ships now to replace them with fiber optics. Same thing here. Uh-oh, we've got a problem. Well, the guys on, what was it, the Fitzgerald? I think that was the name of the ship. They're sitting there, sitting ducks. Boy, are they sitting ducks, because the Philippine carrier makes an about face, 180-degree turn, and proceeds to aim directly for this ship and rams it midships. It tried to cut it in half. How many U.S. sailors were killed? 8, 9. Fortunately, you know, it could have been a lot worse, all right? And so we have a big mystery. Well, what is bigger was in those containers on board that ship, as in human trafficking, Hillary Clinton, right? Human trafficking. What happened the week before? What was it, the USS Chelsea? The Chelsea?
Right.
Okay. Importing, running human trafficking, but Chelsea was too busy trying to catch her plane that she didn't have a reservation for. So she couldn't stay for the final investigation and answering questions. Okay. So I'm sorry, Chelsea Hubble? Is it Hubble? I think it's Hubble. Yeah. Okay. That's even dubious and devious. Right. Okay. Their daughter. Okay. Who is it? What is it with these psychopathic people? Okay. And then, we find out yesterday, Huma Abedin. Oh gosh, boy, there's a straight shooter if I ever saw one. Huma Abedin, or is it Humma Wiener? I don't know how to pronounce that name.
I was waiting for that. Yeah.
Okay, Humma Wiener. All right. Well, now, unfortunately, she had some of her emails picked up. What is it? These people don't know how to practice ComSec. That's communications security. Obviously, Hillary doesn't, and now Humma Wiener doesn't either. Okay. And surprise, she states that the Clinton Foundation has now ripped off Haiti for $14 billion. Gee, now, okay, we come to this point now. You know, unlimited murder. Murder Corporation is Hillary Clinton. Okay, if you want surface-to-air missiles, okay, pirated, okay, in Libya, and you've got enough money to buy them, hey, contact the Clinton Foundation. No problem. 400 Stinger missiles out there somewhere that are bringing down planes. Okay, and then I mean, what else do we have? Oh, okay.
Well, there's the Chinese spy ring, right? That you wanted to.
Yes, right. Thank you. God, I can't. You know, I've got a great memory, but it's not that great. Okay, the Chinese spy ring. As a friend of mine, Russ Tice, okay, who's turned into a bit of a consultant on issues of Hillary Clinton, okay, he was working for the NSA as an analyst, and he picked up, just like Sybil Edmonds did, he picked up some very interesting, dubious behavior by the Chinese nationals working at NSA. Pardon me, Chinese nationals working at NSA? They have something called security clearances.
Right.
If you were born in a communist country, you can't get one theoretically. Well, guess who overrode those security safeguards? Any guesses, Mrs. Clinton?
Yes.
And your illustrious, grubby, thieving, sexually psychopathic husband? Okay, yeah, that's what happened. Russ reports it, and what happens? The NSA notifies the Clintons that yes, we've got a problem. Somebody picked up the fact that you're running spies, red Chinese spies in America, Mrs. Clinton, and they're at NSA, specifically Mrs. Clinton. And surprise, guess what? Out of nowhere, the Chinese come up and offered for a donation to the Clinton Foundation, I'm sure, okay, or an election donation. Boy, I want to be a politician when I grow up, to be quite honest, okay, after listening to all this. And what happens, okay, is Clinton overrides the NSA safeguards on research telemetry on ICBM missiles.
Right.
Oh, you don't think that's a big deal? Everybody seems to think, oh, that's not a big deal. No problem. Why isn't the son of a bitch in jail, first of all? Okay? That's what, if I become president of the United States, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to overhaul. Who cares what they're doing in France? Who cares what they're doing in Iceland? Okay? Who cares what they're doing in Kiribati, South Pacific? Okay? We've got to, first of all, rebuild our court system. Our court system is for shit. Absolute shit. All right? Look at the Supreme Court. I'm the poster boy for rebuilding our courts. Absolutely. All right?
But we have to explain why, because the Supreme Court takes its orders from the government. So before we finish with Hillary Clinton, I just got to say this, because this whole thing started in 1977 with Suzanne Coleman, age 26. This is the first person that disappeared. Listen to this. She had an affair with Clinton, and he, when he was an attorney general of Arkansas, died of suicide with a gunshot wound to the back of her head. No autopsy allowed. She was 7 months pregnant at the time of her death. She had told friends it was Bill Clinton's child. She died on February 15th, 1977. COD, suicide, gunshot wound to the head. Thank you very much. That's where it started. So I just have to throw that in.
Right. Okay. Everybody from their own diplomats died mysteriously. Their own security members. 4 security members for Bill Clinton were found shot dead in a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
And a hotel room in Little Rock, and they called that a mass suicide.
Right.
A mass suicide. Okay.
22.
Right.
22 bodyguards and escorts.
Yeah. I mean, that's a real dangerous profession, being security for the Clintons. Okay. And then it goes on and on. But what happened a month ago? Seth Rich, her campaign manager, shot Seth Rich mysteriously. And then yesterday I read about a massive child pedophilia, Pizzagate pornography kind of, thing that's going on. And they're already starting to make massive arrests now. Guess who's right in the middle of it? Hillary. Oh, and we won't forget that weirdo, John Podesta. Okay. We won't forget him. But by the way, I want Mr. Putin to listen to this. Guess what, Mr. Putin? Yes, we know you run and you're a member of the most powerful intelligence group in the world, okay? The former KGB. Hey, I love those boys in the Crimea, okay? Stavropol and Sebastopol. Hey, I love those guys. They know what they're doing, all right? They consider intelligence a profession, all right? Not a money-grubbing venture like our intelligence people do. Okay. Yeah. Oh, did I say something wrong there, Luca? Oh, did I say so? Oh, maybe as in CIA, as in cocaine importation from Colombia. Okay, Mr. Bush, Mr. Clinton. Okay. Gee, so let's add drug running to the Clinton dossier. Okay.
Absolutely.
Their curricula vitae. All right. And then, by the way, I forgot to mention Humma Weiner. Okay, I guess she's still married to this guy, right? boy, there's another straight shooter. Her husband. Wow, pardon the pun, a real straight shooter. Okay, by the looks of the internet. All right, and now we find out she is the voice of and the liaison between Hillary Clinton and the Israeli-run group ISIS. Guess who's carrying all the messages? Guess who's carrying the water? All right, it's Humma Wiener again. Okay, Humma Wiener and Hillary Clinton. Okay, where is the Attorney General? Oh, I've got one for you. The Attorney General. No, she's sitting on a plane. The Attorney General is sitting on a plane with hubby Bill, talking about how the fix was in by President Obama to make sure Bernie Sanders was booted, and then the fix was in to get Hillary in. Okay, to get Hillary in, and so where's Mr. Comey when all this is going on, right? Did I see a big investigation? Did you see one? Did your listeners see one?
I think I think the NSA is checking in again because you're breaking up.
I'm sorry about that. Apologize to your listeners. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, ask the NSA about the Chinese spies. All right. And ask them, did they ever rehire Mr. Russ Tice for reporting that spying ring? All right. Ask the NSA. You could, just like me, you can ask the DOD. If I was ever asked to rejoin the team, the family of intelligence, right? Okay.
Well, so Greg, time flies when we're having fun, but we're almost at the end. We're at the end, actually. That was quick.
Okay. Well. Hey, if this coming week, if you see something arcing over the horizon coming from the West, folks, as in North Korea, you can thank the Clintons personally. All right. That's how he got the telemetry to get that ICBM to your doorstep. All right, on your shores. Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton. You just gotta love her. What a scamp. Okay, So there it is. That's what I have to say about the most dangerous person probably on the face of the earth, most psychopathic, indulged, psychotic, thieving, lying, traitorous bitch. Okay, on the face of the earth. Yes, Hillary Clinton. You've got it. Thank you, Luca.
Okay, by the way, Greg, we just got another one. It sounds like somebody else got suicided. 7/13/2017. That's the 13th of this month. Quote, pilot who heard every word of the Clinton/Lynch secret meeting breaks his silence. And on 7/14/2017, he's dead. So there you go. That was the last one. It was Loretta Lynch and Mr. Clinton that had a quote secret but unsecret meeting on the plane. So there you go.
Right. And if you don't mind, I will add my good friend who was found hanging in her mother's garden shed. All right, by her neck. Her name was Jean Palfrey. She was known, AKA known as the DC Madam. All right. Oh my goodness, what she had to say about the Clintons, what she especially had to say about Dick Cheney. All right. And it's funny. She goes to a circus trial for pandering, a circus trial, and she's waiting for sentencing when she gets an offer. Hey, tell us what you know. The next day, she is dead. All right. She was hit by a stun gun, knocked unconscious, and then had a hypodermic needle inject drugs into her umbilicus, okay, her belly button, and she was found hanging by the neck in her mother's garden shed. All right. So believe me, America dodged a major bullet when Hillary Clinton did not become president. All right. Okay. And she'd be the first to put people into these FEMA camps, these concentration camps. Hillary would. Thank God she didn't get in. Now let's do the right thing and drag her into court with her AIDS, HIV positive husband and try them in a court of law, maybe one that works, okay, not the Supreme Court, and send those people to Leavenworth, where they can learn an honest occupation, like maybe making license plates or something like that. All right, but give some justice to the victims. Several hundred victims, actually, at this point that I know of. So that's what I'm recommending, Luca, for this case, and the Clintons. All right. Thank you so much for your listeners too.
Greg, thank you so much for your wisdom and for being on the show again. And we'll be on in the next 2 days with a new version of Global News Update. We thank you so much.
Our pleasure. My pleasure too. Thank you, Luca.